Okay, hey, I think we are live. What's up, everybody? Here on a very special Thursday afternoon live stream, which is very unusual for me. I'm usually at work during this time. And the reason this is special, not only because it's a Thursday afternoon, but we've got a special guest, Dane from ZIMM'S Guitars. How you doing, Dane?
I am doing good. How are you?
Great, great. And
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled because you're actually the very first guest I've ever had in a live stream.
Woo!
So you've got that distinction. And I was in one of your live streams like a month ago or so,
That's right. That's
returning the
right.
favor.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get some guys in here watching. I just did my regular Wednesday night live stream last night,
I
and
watched some of that.
everybody said, make sure you're joining. You're here tomorrow. Join us as I'm talking to Dane. So we've got a bunch of people in here checking us out already. We've got Robert, Mitch, Seabass, Dorteo, Wasted Dude, a Bang, Tom, and Papa Blue, and hopefully some more people will be
Now,
jumping.
Wasted Dude, does he hang out with the guitar dude guy?
Metal Dude?
Metal Dude, yeah.
Yeah, they could be friends. I
It
really
could
don't
be the
know.
same guy.
Yeah, could be. Could be. So, anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. So, yeah, special guest, Dane from ZIMM'S Guitars. And
Thanks.
Dane has his own YouTube channel, of course. It's called ZIMM'S Guitars, guys. So,
That's right.
he does all kinds of cool stuff, guitar stuff, like I do. So, if you like my stuff, you're going to like his stuff. So, make sure you go over there and check it out and give him a subscribe and a like and all that good stuff. Okay, guys. So I got a couple of topics to talk about with Dane here. The first thing I wanted to ask you about was the fact guitar shop. I'm not going to call it a music store
Right.
because it is a guitar shop. So why
Guitar
don't you
shop.
start by telling everybody the distinction? Like, why is your store a guitar shop and not a music store? What's the difference?
Okay, because I sell guitars, guitar amps, and guitar pedals. So you can't come in here trying to buy reeds for your clarinet, or you don't come in here looking for a Casio keyboard or anything like that. Don't come in here looking for recording software or stuff like that. I just do guitars, amps, and guitar pedals.
All right. So if I
And
want
of
to drum
course, all the strings and guitar accessories.
guitar stuff. So if I want a drum set, I'm not coming to your store.
Dude, that is the last thing I want in here is a bunch of kids banging on drums.
Okay. All right. And tell everybody where you're located.
I'm in Mesa, Arizona.
Mesa,
I'm on
Arizona.
the corner of, if you're in Phoenix area,
Uh-huh.
I'm on the corner of Alma School and Guadalupe in Mesa, Arizona. And I'm doing really good because Phoenix has a population of, I think, 1.6 million people. Okay. So there's plenty of people around. Mesa is the next city over. Well, there's Phoenix. If you head east, Tempe, Arizona, ASU is right there. I'm 2 miles from that, and then you run into Mesa, Arizona, and then Gilbert and Chandler are other huge cities, right? 3-4 miles down the road. So we've got a lot of people in this town.
Okay. So
that helps.
So you feel like you have a pretty good location then?
I think I do. And there are 5 Guitar Center locations in the metropolitan area. And between the Mesa store is probably, I'm going to say it's 6 or 8 miles east of here. And the Tempe location is 5 or 6 miles west of here. So I'm kind of stuck in the middle of these 2 Guitar Centers.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's a good spot.
Right.
So how many years ago did you open the shop?
I'm in my second location right now. My first location was just a mile down the street. I was at Dobson in Guadalupe. And what's a funny story is Philip McKnight, Know Your Gear, right? Do you know the YouTuber?
Yep.
He's another bald guy, and he
Yep.
shreds.
He is.
Philip McKnight had McKnight Guitar Company on Dobson and Chandler Boulevard, which was 4 miles south of where my old store was at.
Okay.
And I opened my first store in summer of 2016. So I've been at it for about 8 years, flipping used guitars. But McKnight's store, again, he didn't finally close his store until spring of 2017. And so he had a location over there for probably like 10 years or something. And I'd go visit McKnight at his store. And I was afraid to tell him that I had a guitar shop right down the street, you know? And so I would go visit McKnight and he'd go, hey, man, how you doing? I'm like, good, man. Your channel's doing great. Yeah. He's like, yeah. And I was afraid to tell him, oh, dude, big news. I opened a used guitar shop 4 miles up the street from your store, because he did used stuff too. But he was also a Fender dealer, Fender custom shop dealer. He played with the big boys, Gibson and all that. I don't do that.
Yeah.
But I was very hesitant to tell him that I opened my own store right down the street. And then finally he did the YouTube video where he said, hey, man, I'm closing my store. I'm going to put all my focus towards my YouTube channel now. It's just this whole fun thing for me. I'm going to quit. I'm closing up my store. And so after he did that video, I was like, wow, I can actually tell him now that. So the next time I saw him, I'm like, Phil, I've been really hesitant to tell you, but I opened a used guitar shop right on Dobson and Guadalupe. And he's like, hesitant to tell me why? I'm like, I don't know, maybe competition or whatever. I was a little scared. He's like, oh, man, don't worry about it.
So he lives in your area? He lives in Arizona?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he comes in here a lot, and he's become a really good friend.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Yeah, I watch his videos. I've seen a ton of his stuff. I have not had the chance to meet him in person yet. I was hoping like he'd be at the NAMM show and I'd see him there, but I didn't see him. I don't know if he went this past year, but maybe I'll.
I think the last time he went was 2020 Winter NAMM. So it was in January, last weekend of January of 2020. That was the time he was there, and he's kind of saying, I don't know if I need to go back. I don't need to shop new gear. And I'm kind of the same way about NAMM.
Yeah.
Because being in a used guitar shop, you don't need to go to the NAMM show to see what new stuff has come out.
Right.
Maybe I should buy the new line of whatever this new gadget is that's at the NAMM show. I don't really need to do that. It's kind of, you go to NAMM just to meet all your buddies and run into some rock stars, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Although there was I assume you've been going to NAMM for like a long time, probably like years and years and years, right?
I haven't. I mean, like 4 years ago was the first time I went.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I missed this
like
last year. This last year when you went there and bought all the Leo James guitars, I didn't go to that one. I missed it this year.
I've been going since 1989. You
Wow.
missed the heyday, dude. You want to talk about like meeting rock stars and stuff? When I went in 1989, 1990, 91, early 90s, you couldn't even turn around without bumping into, you know, there's George Lynch, there's Ronnie James Dio, there's Jason Becker, there's Yngwie Malmsteen, Michael Anthony from Van Halen. I mean, they were all over the place. So now it's a far cry from what it used to be. Let me just put it that way.
Right.
Yeah.
I did, when I went in 2020, though, I did see, I saw Michael Anthony. I saw Billy Sheehan. I saw Peter Frampton. I was like, holy. And for an old guy like me to see Peter Frampton, you're like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Peter Frampton. And I talked to Steve Lukather.
Uh-huh.
And that was pretty cool. And so I ran into a lot of rock stars that 2020. But yeah, since the old COVID hit, man, it's sort of, hopefully it'll come back and be like it used to be, right?
It's slowly building back up, but I don't know if it's ever going to get back to the point of what it was before the whole pandemic and stuff. The one in April, not the one we just had in January, because the one before that was last April. And the one in January, the one we just had, it was bigger than the one in April. So it grew a little bit, but
Right.
still not even close to what it was. Like there's a whole downstairs section. All the smaller companies, they used to be in the downstairs section. Well, now that they don't even use the downstairs section, it's completely blocked off. And any of those companies that were down there, now they're up on the main floor because there's so much more open space. Gibson doesn't go anymore. Fender doesn't go anymore. Some other companies too. I can't remember.
Maybe Taylor. Well, no, Taylor was there. Maybe Martin. Oh, the PRS. I think missed.
Yeah, they weren't there.
Right. Those were the big ones where they have you go upstairs and there's a big, I used to enjoy going down in the basement too. Hey, real quick in the chat, I see Johnny Bean. Johnny, what's up?
Johnny Bean.
So Johnny Bean's got a great YouTube channel, Johnny Bean TV. I go on there every once in a while on Tuesday nights for OU81 Tuesday. We talk nothing but Van Halen. Check it out, Johnny Bean TV. If you want to talk about Van Halen over and over and over again, you can't get enough Van Halen. Johnny Bean TV, Tuesday nights. I go on there every once in a while.
So I take it you're a big Van Halen fan then?
I really am, yeah.
Is that your favorite band?
Oh, man, that's like saying what's your favorite guitar?
Oh, yeah, I love that question.
You can't do that.
Yeah, one of your favorite bands.
Right.
Yeah.
I went to a concert the other night.
Yeah.
Tuesday, and Johnny, this is why I missed the show. Wait, let me turn my phone way down. But let me kind of just show you where I went and saw the other night. If I can get there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, come on now. Let's see what I got. Okay, maybe you guys can see this. Come on, who is it? Where is he? Oh, there he is.
Who is that?
Come on, man, focus. Well, I'll give you a hint.
It's kind of.
I'll give you a hint. He's saying nobody's fool.
Oh,
he's saying
that,
somebody
Tom
saved
Kiefer?
Me. Yeah.
Tom Kiefer. Cinderella?
I went and saw Tom Kiefer the other night. I mean, look how close I was to the stage, right?
Yeah, you're right up there.
So again, man, I'm one of those, and I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm an old school 80s hair metal guy.
Yep.
Okay, that was my generation.
Cool.
That's what I'm into. And LA Guns opened up the show. And I think LA Guns, you know, they've been one of those kind of bands that that never really got that major success. The Ballad of Jane did pretty good for them.
Mm-hmm.
But LA Guns is tight right now. LA Guns is at a pinnacle of their sound as far as, you know, bands, they fire members, they kind of go back down, they come back up, they go back down. LA Guns is at a peak right now on how good they are. They are never been better. Well,
they've had a lot of members. They have gone through a lot of members over the year. And then there was like 2 versions of LA Guns. All right, we've got to take a moment here, guys. So for the audience, I'll tell you guys, talking about LA Guns, there were 2 versions of LA Guns at one time. There was the Phil Lewis version, and then there was the Tracy Guns version. And then Tracy came back with Phil Lewis, and then the drummer, Cash. All right.
The dude just kissed my hand when he shook my hand for selling him an amp. Okay, hold on. A happy customer. Where you at?
Where is he? Okay.
He's got his hands on a 1957 Silvertone single 15, whatever it is, old school amp.
Same circuit as a Fender.
Congratulations.
Okay. Good job, buddy.
Fender amp.
All right, Dave. I'm glad you're excited about it.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Later. Another happy customer.
All right,
Wait
cool.
till he takes that thing home and it sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Have it serviced. Thank you. Take it to your favorite amp tech immediately. Here's the thing, man. When you sell old tube amps, they need serviced. I will not sell an amp and tell them solid state amps are a different story. If they break, they're broken, throw them away. But a tube amp, they need to be serviced and new tubes and cleaned out and all that kind of stuff like that. And so and it's hard to sleep some nights hoping, oh man, I hope that amp I sold that guy's going to work good for him. I had it checked out. I tested on it. It seemed fine, but you still worry that, oh no, is it going to be okay? Is it going to last him a couple of years before he has to change the tubes? And so I tell everybody all the time, dude, have it serviced, get your favorite amp tech to go over it. And try not to blame it on me, buddy. I'm just the middleman flipping this stuff, okay?
Well, do they ever come back and like?
They do come back.
Sure.
They'll come back, and I'll take them back, and I'll refund money, whatever it takes, because I would rather. Do you know how many guitars and amps that dude that just left has bought from me? We're like, we're my customers are also my friends. And you can't alienate anybody and say, no, too bad you bought it. Get the hell out of here. I never want to see you again. You can't do that.
Yeah.
And because then it's just one less customer you're never going to see again, you know? So you have to treat them all like as much as you can do. You can't sit and count your pennies. Oh, no, I paid this much for it. I just sold it to him. Now I have to have it serviced. I don't. If you do that, you'll just drive yourself crazy. Vintage Tube Amps is in the chat.
Yep, and he said what you said is correct.
Yeah, if you sell somebody a tube amp, you just have to say, bro, I'm going to sell you this amp. Go have it serviced. And I'm kind of lucky there's 2 or 3 good amp techs over on this side of town that I can refer them to. So in that respect, I'm lucky that there's other guys that help me out.
How many of your customers are like repeat customers? Do you get a lot of guys that just keep coming back all the time?
Yep. But it's refreshing when sometimes I'll have a day where I don't see any of the regulars. And I'll be like, nice. I'm growing. That means you're growing when you have a day and there's no repeat customers coming in all day.
Yeah.
Because you want those new faces coming through. And like I was saying earlier, it's a big city. And you need those guys from the other side of town to feel comfortable. Okay, man, you want to get in your car and drive a half an hour to the other side of town to go check out ZIMM'S. You got to make it feel like it's worth their time and their effort to do that.
Cool. So something I'm really curious about, you said you opened your first shop about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, that's not just like, well, I know about guitars and I like guitars, so I can just open a music store. In order to, you're opening a business, how did you know the ins and outs of like how you're going to run a business, like a day-to-day business? Did you have experience in like running a retail store?
No.
You
got to fake it until you know it. I've never done retail. I worked construction my whole life. I did floor coverings. I was a tile layer. I had tile crews going. I got my contractor's license. I did that kind of stuff. And after 25 years of, doing construction, I'm kind of like, man, I'm too old for this shit. What can I do? And as a hobby, I would flip guitars. And it's very similar to what you're doing with your 18 Leo jams that you got at the NAMM show. Have you sold all those already?
I have 3 left.
Okay. So for me, what made it happen for me is I found a 1,200 square foot building, a little shop in the corner of a strip mall a mile up the street. And I didn't know it at the time, but the whole strip mall was under foreclosure. And there was a sign in the over top of the building, and the spot was all full of old restaurant equipment. It had old Sub-Zero refrigerators and old deep fryers and stuff like that. And I looked through the windows and I'm like, oh, I think I could make a guitar shop out of this place, because flipping guitars was a hobby.
Yeah.
And I called the landlord and I'm like, I'm thinking about this quaint little guitar shop. What do you think? Can you help me out? And he goes, well, let me talk to the landlord, and I'll call you tomorrow or the next day, and I'll give you a price. And now, and he gave me, and so, long story short, he called me back the next day, and the price to lease this spot was so cheap. I was like, okay. And so I got my first spot. It was really cheap.
Uh-huh.
And you just got to go get a business license, which is $120. You have to go get your secondhand buy, sell, and trade license,
Mm-hmm.
which is almost like a pawn shop type of a license,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't very much money, a couple $100.
Mm-hmm.
You to get that license, you can't be a felon. So fortunately for me, I ran fast enough,
Okay.
and so
They didn't
all the
catch you.
times I didn't get in trouble driving drunk my whole life. Knock on wood. So I got lucky, and I leased out a spot that was very affordable, and I just gave it a shot, and the guy gave me a 1-year lease. And again, that's unheard of. You can't lease a building, commercial building, anywhere on a 1-year lease. But the guy gave me a 1-year lease, and then he went after that first year. He went to month for me, and I stayed in this spot for 5 years.
Hmm.
And flipped guitars and built my inventory and built my customer base.
Mm-hmm.
And so when new ownership came in over there and they wanted top dollar for that little spot that I had, that's when I made the decision to move into a bigger spot next to a grocery store where there'd be more customers. And I
Mm-hmm.
could get a sign out on the street that actually says guitars. And
Yeah.
so I upgraded after like 3 years ago. I upgraded my shop, and now I'm in a bigger
Okay.
shop. But
Cool.
I got lucky.
So has it been better for business in your new location?
A lot better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then during the whole pandemic, um, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to close or if I could stay open,
Mm-hmm.
but I sort of did a little bit of both. I kind of just looked around and, well, I don't see anybody, so I'm going to swing my front door open. And guys would call me, hey, Zim, dude, are you down at your store? Like, yeah, man, shh, don't tell anybody. Bring cash with you, okay? So I don't know if I'm allowed to be open or closed, or I don't, nobody's told me anything. So guys would do that. So we got through it. Yeah.
Sneaking in the dead of night.
Yeah. Meet me in the alley, dude. I got the PRS for you. Yeah.
Well, I seem to remember. I mean, I want to give you some props here for 8 years later still being open, because I seem to remember when I went to school and taking one of my business classes and them talking about how like most new businesses don't make it past like the first year or
2
two.
years. Yeah. 2
Yeah.
years.
And they just can't make it. And the ones that do get past 2 years, it's a very small percentage, but then they go on to, be successful. So
I heard the same thing when I got my contractor's license
Mm-hmm.
to do flooring in what year, 1993 or 94 or something. When I got that license, they told you the same thing. You had to take a little class, and it didn't teach you how to do construction. The class you had to take to get that license was, hey man, here's when you do your taxes, and here's how you're supposed to do this, and the business side of the things.
Right.
So I guess from just doing construction and being that business gave me enough, insight on how to do it. And so
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
But
So
I really
other than
recommend it
oh,
for
okay,
any of these. One more real quick.
okay.
If you're close to your retirement age and you maybe have a very physical job, you're maybe a truck driver or you're working at the loading docks or you're a fisherman or you're a firefighter or you're a lumberjack or you have a physical job, construction or whatever, I would recommend it if it to do something different in your life. I
Hmm.
think, and I keep talking about McKnight, but McKnight ended up pretty much doing the same thing. He was in a corporate business. He made money. He was doing fine. He wanted to do something fun. You open up a guitar shop, do
Hmm.
something fun.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So still talking about your business, you're flipping guitars, you're getting these, you're flipping them, but you also do videos where you do a lot of restring videos,
That's
and you're
true.
restringing these guitars, right? So
I'm a
that
restring channel, basically. Yeah.
yeah, but that made me think like, are you also like if somebody brings in a guitar and it needs a setup or it needs some kind of repair, are you offering those kind of services? Do you fix
Sure.
guitars for people?
Yeah. Yeah. Because the thing is, if you start every used guitar that comes in, at least maybe 80 or 90% of them, they need to be signed up. Guys sell guitars for a certain reason. And a lot of guys will sell their guitar because they're just like, dude, this guitar just isn't speaking to me. And they, for some reason, I buy it from them. I put it in the back room. I look at it. It's got 11s on it, and the
Yeah,
string height is really high, and it's not intonated. So you slam the action, you put nines on it, and suddenly it's like, ooh, this guitar's nice. And
exactly.
then you can resell it. So
Yeah,
a lot of guys will sell their guitars because it's just not a good setup on them.
right. And
Yeah.
a lot of these guys they don't know what needs to be done. They don't know what to do. It doesn't even cross their mind because they've never done that kind of thing before.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
maybe they don't want to pay somebody to do, or maybe they don't even realize like I could pay somebody $60 to do a setup, and it's gonna play like a dream or whatever. So there's a lot of different reasons.
Yeah, so I have to restring a lot of guitars and I set up a lot of guitars. And I wanted to do the YouTube thing because it was just something that I thought would promote the guitar shop.
Hmm.
It's also the little narcissistic uh type of musician that I am. I'm always self-promoting. You should come see my new band, dude. We're great, right? So I've been in a band since like 1984. I've
Uh-huh.
always been in some kind of a band.
Yeah.
And the band that I'm in right now, we're called Whiskey Dogs.
Whiskey.
So there's a Z at the end of dogs.
Okay.
And if you're in LA, we're playing at the Whiskey a Go Go this Saturday. I have to drive to LA this Saturday. We're opening for Ron Keel.
Oh,
Do you remember Keel?
of course.
Keel? Yeah,
The
the
right
right
to
to
rock.
rock. That's right.
I know Keel. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're opening for Ron Keel set this Saturday. So if you want to make the trip up to the Whiskey, we'll be there.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, so it was fun to make the videos, but I found myself walking around going, okay, okay, okay. And I'm sitting in my store and I got a whole wall of guitars and I'm like, okay, what can I do a video about today? And I heard you talking about this last night. Hey guys, today we're going to test out the brand new pedal from whatever brand it is. And then I have to plug it in. I have to learn about it. I got to spend all this time to do a video. This is the cheapest pedal on Amazon and it's great. And then you got to like play. And I'm not much of a guitar player. I play
Yeah.
bass in the band that I'm
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
And so you get a lot of work into this video. And then you maybe sometimes you get some good views on them. And then other times you're at like 685 views or something. And you're like,
Yes. I know exactly what you're
that
saying.
that's yeah, I don't know if I like doing those kind of videos. What else can I do? And then I would eventually find a guitar. Well, I need to restring this guitar anyhow. So
Yeah.
I might as well let the camera roll while I restring this guitar, and I'll just make a video restringing this guitar. And then I look at my inventory of guitars that I just purchased, and I'm like, man, I got 6 more I got to restring today. Plus, then you get customer guitars, and they bring their guitar in, and they're like, hey, dude, this needs new strings and a setup, and feel free to do a video about it if you want to. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it's turned into so I don't really need to think about, okay, what can I do a video about today?
Yeah.
Should I order that new pedal on Amazon that's only $24.99? No, I don't want to do that. What can I, so I don't have to think about it.
I know exactly what you're saying. So the basic idea here is, as far as making videos, you want minimal effort as far as making the video, but maximum results as far as views. And you don't want it the other way around, where I'm spending hours making this video, and then you upload it and it bombs and you get hardly any views, and you're going, why did I make that video? I have a video coming out tomorrow. And I was working on the video yesterday or the day before, and I totally regret it. So what happens is a company reached out to me, Joyo. You heard of Joyo?
Sure. They make really good pedals.
Yeah. They've got this little portable digital amp. They sent me an email. Hey, I get these emails all the time. You want to review our amp for us? And I was like, hey, cool, digital amp. Yeah, cool. And I've done these kind of videos before, and I just kind of forgot about how much work they are. So I got this digital amp, and in order for me to do the amp, it's got a lot of features, right? Tons of features. And let me get those off there. Okay, so to show all the features of the amp, I had to do a ton of filming, a lot of editing, and I'm trying to play. Here it is. It's got 9 different amp model sounds. So I'm trying to demonstrate all 9 sounds. It's got 6 built-in digital effects.
Turns into a 45-minute video. Yeah.
It's got a looper with a pedal. And a drum beat in it. So I've got to get the drum beat going, a rhythm part, try and play over it. And then after I'm doing that video, I'm just going, never again. Why did
you have to do the editing? Yeah, it takes you 3 hours to record it.
Well, the payoff won't be worth it.
Right.
I already know, because those kind of videos never get as many views as a guitar video. They just don't.
No.
Like pedal videos, amp videos, anything that's not a guitar, they don't get the same amount of interest from the audience. So I know it's going to come out tomorrow, and I'm just like crossing my fingers that it gets at least 1,000 views. If it gets 1,000 views, I'll be like, okay, good enough. But I don't even know.
That's all we can really hope for. And every time I do a restring video, that's all I'm really hoping for is my 1,200 views.
Yeah.
Once in a while, I'll get something that is like a Dane dime bag shredder guitar, and that'll get maybe 2,500 views or something like that.
Yeah.
But I've done some really. What's kind of funny is I could put new strings on like a brand new $3,000 Martin. Somebody will bring in a beautiful Martin. It's from the 1960s, and dude, just be careful with it, but put new strings on it. I'll do that video, be super careful, put new strings on it. It'll get like 680 views. But then I've done like Goodwill. A girl brought in a guitar that she paid $20 for at Goodwill. And the pickup was dangling in it, and it was missing strings, and it was missing a saddle. And I threw that video together, and I just put a replacement pickup in it. And it was kind of a Tom DeLonge. It only had a single pickup in it. And for a Squire, I'm like, oh, hey, it's kind of a Tom DeLonge sort of a Squire.
Yeah.
And that thing got like 50,000 views.
Wow.
And I'm like, what happened? So nobody wants to see a guitar, at least on my channel. Nobody's interested in the high-end guitars that are not affordable. They love the idea of thinking about, hey man, I walked through the Goodwill the other day with my grandma, and there was this West Tone guitar that was only $19.95, and I put it together, and the thing is sick. They want something that's easily obtainable.
Yes.
And a little diamond in the rough that you could that you could, happen upon at a Goodwill or a thrift store somewhere or something like that.
Right.
Those are the ones that do better for me.
Right. Or your what was that? I bought a storage locker or something
That
like that.
one, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Didn't that one just go huge on the views?
I got super lucky on a storage locker video. So, quick
And then you bought
story.
another one,
It was a regular customer of mine, and he would come into my store at least monthly, and he would kind of brag a little bit about his storage lockers. He's like, bro, I've been. His name is Joey. He's like, bro, I got so much stuff in storage lockers, and I'm like, well, Joey, let's go dig through them, dude. I'll buy stuff from you. And he's like, yeah, maybe someday.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ended up passing away.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, he passed away because he was a great guy, and he was super loved here in the valley. He was part of a Sister Sledge album. He was a great player. He would come into my store and play like Steely Dan riffs and stuff like that. I'm like, man, this guy is he's a good player. And I
Mm-hmm.
admire people that can play really well, like yourself, Richard. You're a great
Thank you.
player. And so, but he passed away, and his cousin came in and said, bro, he died. Oh, shit. And darn. And then his sister, like 2 years later, she's like, hey, you were friends with Joey, right? And I'm like, yeah, Joey was a great guy. Well, do you want to buy his storage lockers? And I'm like, yeah, I'll buy his storage lockers. So, and I had no, I was hoping for 2 or 3,000 views on
Mm-hmm.
me digging through that storage locker.
Yeah.
And it's at 890,000 views or something like that. And it's been out. I uploaded
Insane.
it May of last year. So the way that it's going right now, that I think May of this year,
Mm-hmm.
so in another month or so, 2 months from now, I think it's going to hit 1 million views, which is like, what the hell? 1 million views
I think
on me digging
that's
through
one of
his
those things
locker.
where people see the thumbnail and they see the title, and it's the curiosity factor. They're clicking because they want to know what's in that storage locker, right?
I
It's
know
like
it.
in order to know, they've got to click on the video, and I think that's a
Right.
lot that has to do with it.
And it was 100% authentic. He had a bunch of clothes in there. He had boxes of books. He had old exercise equipment in there. He had 2 big filing cabinets that were empty. It took me 9 trips to my dumpster out behind the store. And this was up on the other side of town. So I'd drive up there, but it took me about 2 weeks to clean it out.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I got a ton of cool gear out of it. But the amount of work that I had in it too, I was a tired boy for those 2 or 3 weeks cleaning that locker out.
Mm-hmm.
And I made profit on the items that I sold, but the profit that was really out of this world is what YouTube paid for doing that video. It's over $5,000 of profit from YouTube,
Wow. Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's great.
and it ended up getting like, I don't know, 10,000 new subscribers to the channel and stuff like that.
Oh.
And so, yeah, that really jump started the channel. But I'm most likely now I'm accepting the fact that I'm going to be a one-hit video wonder, but at least I have that one
No.
video.
No. Your Fesley video.
There
You're
you go.
not a one-hit wonder. How many views does that Fesley video have? Like 500,000, right?
No. Hey, man, how
Or
you
a
doing?
250,000.
It's getting up there. Hold on. I got a customer. I'm going to mute you for a second.
Okay. Guys, I'm talking about the Fesley Black Les Paul guitar. Remember that guitar? I did a video on it. It was kind of like a copy of the LTD Eclipse. Dane did a video on that guitar, and I'm pretty sure if you go on YouTube, he's got like the highest number of views on a Fesley guitar video. I'd have to go on YouTube and look it up, but I can't remember. It was 200 and something thousand or 400 and something thousand. I can't remember, but either way, That's an insane number of views for like a guitar review video. So he said he was a one-hit wonder, but I know he's at least a two-hit wonder. So what do you guys think? Are you guys enjoying this co-live stream here? Are you guys enjoying listening to the Bald Shredder here having a chat with Dane from ZIMM'S Guitars? This is my second time chatting with Dane. The last time I was in a live stream on his channel, and he's a very cool dude. I'm really enjoying the conversation that I'm having with him about the music store and about stuff that he does. It's different than my normal live streams where I'm just talking to the screen like I am now. I'm just talking to you guys, but I have another person to talk to, so it's a lot of fun. I'll have to see if I can get some other people in on a live stream other than Dane. Some other special guests. We'll see. We'll see what I can work out. Yeah. So while we're waiting for Dane to come back, I'll give you guys a little sneak peek. Check it out, guys. This is a guitar from Grote. This is my very first Grote guitar. Kind of a Les Paul style guitar with the P90 pickups. Pretty cool. So I'm in the midst of working on this one, guys. And hopefully I'll have the video for this one out next week. But pretty cool. I actually like this more than I was expecting to. And this only sells for like $149 on Amazon, like super cheap. So considering how cheap it is, it plays really well. All right, you're back. So
I am back.
I was mentioning your Fesley video. That has huge views, right? You're like the top Fesley video guy on YouTube, I think.
I know. I don't know how it happened. Honestly, they sent me that Fesley, and they said, "Could you do the video before Black Friday?" And I'm like, "Okay, I think I can do that." So I just sort of blew through it real fast, and I didn't really give it that much thought. And I just sat it on my bench, and I kind of looked at it a little bit, and I don't think I changed the strings on it, but I might have changed the strings. And then I just sat right here, and I knew it was a good Christmas gift, and I knew we were a week before, we were in November, a week before Black Friday. And I just went through it and said, hey, it's a cool guitar. And we created a good thumbnail for it. Yeah. My son does all my editing, so I have it easy in that respect because you do your own editing.
Yes, I do.
I have a computer nerd 27-year-old son that works here with me, and he does my editing.
You're lucky.
And so because of that, I'm lucky. Trust me, I know it. I'm super lucky. So I don't have to do editing, so I can just turn the camera on and then hand him the little card that comes out of it. And he makes
you're literally doing the easiest part because the editing, that's the not fun part.
I know.
Yeah. Well, good for you.
Yeah, so I just sort of blasted through the video, and I just said good things about it. I had nothing negative to say about it. Mm-hmm. It seemed like a fine guitar. Mm-hmm. I think there might have been some that had a little grounding issue because the stop bar was painted black or powder coated black, and so the ground wasn't making a good connection, and so it was kind of when you would touch it, you would hear it kind of ground out a little bit. I think it might have had those issues, but I didn't really hear it when I was playing through it, so I just got lucky on that one.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I said
I had the same guitar, and no, I didn't have the grounding issue. Mine was fine.
Yeah.
But on mine, there on the top of the neck, at the neck pocket, there was a big enough gap in the neck pocket that I could fit my 1.14 millimeter pick. I could fit it all the way in that gap. And that was kind of like the biggest issue.
Oh, so you had the Strat style one. The one that I did was like the Les Paul style one.
So I'm talking about the Les Paul style one.
Oh.
That's the one I'm talking about. I did that one too.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, that's the one that it had the gap in the neck pocket, and I stuck the pick in the gap. So the same one that you're talking about, the black one, the Les Paul kind of looking one. Yeah. Yep. So another thing I wanted to ask you, Dane, is I'm really curious. Not
Yeah.
about the music, not about the music shop. Another topic.
Okay.
So you play the bass guitar. You play in a band. You guys are playing in Hollywood this this Saturday night.
Saturday. Yeah.
Opening for Ron Keel.
April 6th.
Now you're an '80s guy like me, the '80s hard rock metal. So
Yes.
you and I, and probably a ton of guys our age, we all had the same dream back in the '80s, which was I'm going to be a rock star. I'm going to get a record deal. We're going to be on MTV.
And I'm going to marry a model.
Yeah, you're going to marry a Playboy model, whatever. So what I want to know is like, how close did you ever? What's the farthest you got in a band to like reaching that, whether it was in the '80s or '90s or whatever?
Not far at all.
Well, probably farther than me because I didn't get anywhere.
It's been a lot of years of doing it, and I could have a list of a bunch of bands that I've been able to open up for.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's a ton of bands that I was able to open up for, and I even played punk rock for a while. So we did stuff like that, and but I never came close to having any kind of a record deal or anything because I knew the stories. And so being in Phoenix, and we'd go play a house party, and we'd put our best band together, and we'd go and play house parties, or we'd go up here and play at Rockers or something in downtown Phoenix. Mm-hmm. Now, you remember the Van Halen stories where they would do a house party and there'd be like 3,000 people showing up at a house party. Okay, that didn't happen for us. We'd play a house party and we'd have 25 people show up. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, I'm not moving to LA to do that.
I was going to ask you if you ever did the LA thing, if you ever lived in Hollywood.
No.
So you've always been in Arizona?
Yeah. Stayed in Arizona the whole time. And I mean, I got to open up for Flotsam and Jetsam back when Jason Newsted was still in Flots.
Yep.
And stuff like that.
Well, ZIMM'S got a couple.
And
it's tough.
And again, I did a bunch of punk rock stuff where I've got to open for Agent Orange, and we opened for Dr. Chud. That was the original drummer from the Misfits, and I did stuff like that. And now with the current band that I'm in, Whiskey Dogs, we were a cover band that would play all the biker bars in town. And we'd play up at the Billet Bar, and we'd play Arizona Bike Week, which is this coming week. And we would do all the biker bar kind of stuff, although I'm not a biker. And but now we've, over the last 5 years or so, we've written enough originals because we want to just go and open up for the guys that we grew up hanging with, or the bands that we loved when we were younger. So in the last 5 years, I've got to open for... Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I got to take this.
Okay.
Bunch of hair metal.
All right, guys. I'm going to reply. I was going to type in the chat, but I'll just respond. Doroteo is saying I should try to get Glenn from Spectre Studios. I'll send him a message. What's the worst he can do? The worst he can do is, well, he could ignore me and not reply, or he could send a reply saying, bleep off, dude. I don't want to be on your channel. So who knows? Yeah, I'll send him a message and see if he might be interested. He is a very colorful, interesting guy. That's for sure. All right. We're back.
Yeah.
That was Capitol Records calling, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They're watching my live stream right now, and they're like, "We got to make that guy's dream happen."
We are doing a CD right now, though. We're in the studio recording. Okay. And our engineer, producer guy, his name is John Accolino. And he's the guitarist in Icon. Do you remember Capitol Records? Icon? Yeah, it's that guy's recording us right now.
Cool.
And we've got 10 songs, and we've been working on our CD for about almost a year now.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting dangerously close to finish it. We just got to put a few more guitar solos on it, maybe some background vocals. We're getting really, really close. But I've become, I've become friends with John, and Dan Wexler was in Icon, and they were big in Phoenix in 84, 85. Those albums were selling. I mean, they were on Capitol Records, and I would go see them. And now it's been 40 years later, and we've become friends. But man, if it was 40 years ago, and I was at an Icon show, and somebody would tell me, "Hey, dude, in 40 years from now, you'd be hanging out with this dude all the time, and selling him guitars, and you'd be good friends with him, and you'd be recording in his studio." I'd be like, "Yeah, sure."
Right. So he lives in your area, so you guys are recording right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Cool.
got a great studio. I can show you a photo on my phone, but I'm going to turn it down so we don't get any audio.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find a picture of this guy's recording setup. He's got a Focusrite. That's John right there with his back turned to us.
Oh, okay.
And that is a Focusrite mixing console.
Man,
And that's some of his outboard equipment right there.
That is huge.
And this is a $3 million Focusrite console. His studio is called Platinum Underground. Oh, I just got Ryan 60 Psycho Hum just sent me something. He tagged me in something.
Man, that is massive.
We're recording here. Yeah, I know. It's sick, dude. And so to have this guy, and I'm the bass player, but I've co-written most of the songs. And so have this guy like wanting to work with me. And it's like, dude, I think right here we should go from the bridge back to the chorus and then hold out. He's letting me be creative in this guy's studio. And I'm just like, I'm blown away by this. This is the A room upstairs. He's got another B room downstairs.
Very
But
cool.
just to be a part of that is it blows my mind. And in being a 60 or 62-year-old man, is anybody going to listen to our CD? That's just it. You never know until you give it a try. Yeah, thanks, Johnny.
Right.
So a lot of guys.
How would you describe the sound of the band? What does the band sound like? Who would you compare it to?
We're an 80s hair metal band. Okay. We have a ballad. We have a cheesy ballad. We have songs. Hey, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I'm sorry, man. Hold on a second again.
Dane is a busy guy. He's got a business to run. He's got high-powered contacts calling him. That's probably Paul Stanley calling him right now, talking about what he's going to do after Kiss. Yep. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys are enjoying my little co-live stream here with Dane from ZIMM'S Guitars. And if you guys like it enough, I can have Dane on in another live stream, down the road a little bit, and we can have him back, and maybe I can be in another live stream on his channel, and we'll do it again, definitely. Definitely having a very cool chat. Yes, Lewis. Lewis says, Dane is an important man. Indeed he is. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's actually Kirk Hammett on the phone with him right now. He's wanting to buy one of ZIMM'S guitars. Was that Kirk?
Hey, you know what? We did have a celeb in here, Brian. Who was the guy that came in here earlier?
Ken Rowe from the Atari.
Ken Rowe. He's from the band The Ataris. Came in here earlier in the week. Or maybe that was Saturday. A couple of days ago. It was on Tuesday. So is he the singer or the guitar player? Oh, he's got to be the guitar player because he bought a bunch of pedals from me. So the Ataris, they're a pretty huge band, but their one song was the Boys of Summer. They did the punk rock version of Boys of Summer, right? You know the song I'm talking about?
I know the Don Henley song, Boys
Oh
of Summer.
yeah, no, this is the Ataris did a remake of it.
Atari?
It's on
like
all the
video game
alternative
Atari?
channel, the Ataris.
Okay.
And then out on the road today, I saw a Black Flag sticker on a Cadillac. So they changed the lyric to Black Flag instead of I saw a Deadhead sticker on a Cadillac, right? Mm-hmm. It's a great version. And they're out touring and everything. So once in a while we'll get a celebrity in here. Robin Wilson from the Gin Blossoms came in and bought a capo from me.
A table?
Yeah. He bought a capo.
Oh, a cable.
Okay. A capo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Gin Blossoms are a Phoenix band that was pretty big deal in the 90s. Hey Jealousy and all their hits that they had.
Cool. So I'm curious on your album that you're working on with your band. You keep saying you're working on a new CD. Are you guys actually having physical CDs made?
I think we will, because when we're at the Whiskey or wherever we find shows, you can sell the CDs. Hopefully once in a while you've got to have some kind of merch.
Right.
And we're kind of, to me, I feel like we're sort of dropping the ball because we go and we've done so many shows at the Whiskey where we've opened up for Stephen Piercy, we've opened up for Striper, we've opened up for Love Hate, we've opened up for Jennifer Gardner from Vixen. And we just keep doing these kind of shows over there. And we don't take any merch with us. And so we're kind of dropping the ball on that.
Well, if you're doing live shows, you're playing live now, the way the world is now, as far as selling physical CDs, that's literally the best place, or the best opportunity where you're going to get people to actually buy CDs, is because they're there in person. It's right in front of them, because trying to sell CDs like online, it's not that easy anymore.
And if I had a box of 100 of our CDs right here behind the counter, I could say, dude, buy my CD. And once in a while, you'll get somebody that's like, okay, dude, I've seen some of your videos. I'll buy a CD from you.
Right.
You might have to sell them for $10 a piece, but I could probably turn a few of them out of the store here.
Yeah, you could. Definitely. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap this up, Dane. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me. It's been really cool, a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the chat. So, guys, once again, let me put the banner up here. We've got Dane from ZIMM'S Guitars. Go check out his YouTube channel. Just type in ZIMM'S Guitars. You'll find it right away. Give him a subscribe, watch one of his videos, watch all his videos, give him a like, leave a comment, start watching his stuff. So let's give him your support is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you, guys.
And then
Richard, thank you.
We can do this again.
Yeah, anytime, man, anytime. During the week like this, there's two guys walking around looking at stuff right now, but everything's good.
Okay, very cool. All right, guys. So we will catch you later. You can catch Dane in his next video, and you can catch me in my next video. He's got a video coming up on that guitar right there.
Yes.
Where he put the epoxy in that. Check it out. He was telling me before the live stream what he did to that guitar. So you're going to want to see the video when that comes out really soon.
Yeah. Thank you, Richard.
All right, guys. Thanks, Dane. All right. Catch you guys later.
See you guys.